Right guys, so today we're seeing what kind of printer you can get with a budget of just £100 and is it worth it going second hand. Right, so this is what I got with the printer I've just picked up. So we've got a Palette 2, which is a splicer, so I can have 4 rolls of filament on here. But I'm probably just going to sell this, to be honest, because I can get my money back straight away just from that alone. And it has the upgrade kit on it too. Then we've got this filament heater that's going to go, well, it just feeds the filament into the actual printer and it will heat it up and keep the moisture out. He gave me this box of bits and bobs, some scrapers, I don't know what, there's something to do with the extruder, some spare nozzles, and various bits and bobs and spare bits of the springs from the self, well not the self, the levelling system on the printer. This is for cutting feed tubes. Apparently he made it, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with FDM stuff. I've had a resin printer for a year, but this is my first FDM printer. Then we've got all this filament that he's given us. Now, apparently this is quite old filament, but he said it's been in a diver's box filled with rice to keep the moisture out. So we'll see how it performs. Hopefully I can get some use out of it. Like, we've got a full spool here that I don't think he's even touched, this brown stuff. Gold. I may even do my first print out of this gold stuff, to be honest, because I quite like the colour. So yeah, I'm going to show you the actual printer now. This is the actual printer itself. Now, it's been converted to direct drive, he tells me, which means rather than feeding from back here, it feeds directly from the filament, from the extruder or whatever you call it, and then the spool with that heater is going to sit on top of here and feed directly into that. I haven't turned it on yet, but he did show me when I picked it up it all working. He's even left me like a little note of things to change because of the modifications he's done to it. There's the user manual, and I doubt they will honour this warranty now. But yeah, that's the printer. We're gonna clean everything up and we'll get it working. So as I mentioned before, we're gonna clean everything up. And I'm going to start the Palette 2 so I can just get this listed on eBay. I haven't actually found any used listings for this on eBay, but on Amazon it sells brand new for £300 for the standard version without the upgrade kit. And this has that upgrade kit, and he said he's only used it a couple of times. It's obviously quite dirty and I don't really want to sell it in this condition. There's a few little scratches and stuff, but I think if we sell this for £100 we get the money back for what we've invested. Just giving everything a good old wipe with these wipes that I use through work. I think that will do. Looks a lot better. we'll get some photos taken of this, and then we're gonna list it on eBay, see what we can get for it. Now the seller did mention as well that he was selling this so cheap because he just wanted everything gone so he can make some space, because he's lost interest with 3D printing. He also has an Ender 3 in his shed that he's took apart to store, and he's going to build back up and test to see if it works, and if it works it's also mine for no extra money, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So in a future video we'll see what comes of that. But we actually set up the printer. I just want to give it a quick wipe, quick clean, just get little bits and bobs out of there because it's got old bits of print, quite a bit of dirt. I just want it to be clean, you know. Right, so a lot of you are probably wondering about the kind of deal you can get. Well, I actually got my printer for a friend of a friend, and he has trouble selling like old bits and bobs because he's deaf. So he reached out to him because I found out he was selling it. He only wanted £100. Now you may be thinking, well, I can't get your printer for £100 because it sells for more in the used market normally, but you can actually get a used Ender 3. See it right here. So that's £106 including postage. That's £100 including postage, and it's got upgrades. If you feel like you can fix one, that one's £70. So there's definitely options out there, and the Ender 3 is probably one of the most popular printers ever released. So there's tons and tons of resources online for you to be able to try and work out any problems you might have with it, or even upgrade it if you wish to. Right, so we give this a good wipe down. As you can see, it's not the best job, but it's going to be in the garage. I just didn't want it looking mega dirty. Like up there was all stains all around it here, so we got them out, and now we're just going to set the thing up. Now, apparently, when I go to slice, I need to set it as an Ender 3 because of the direct drive mod he's done, and then I just need to change the print bed size. So I'm gonna have to go and work out how to do that, and we'll get printing. Right, so we're here at the printer. It's all turned on. I've just set the temperature to 205 and 60 as per the print temp that the reel says, and the recommended I found online was a 60-degree hotbed. So we now need to actually feed the spool into the nozzle, but first I actually need to turn this heater on. We turn that on. I'm probably just going to have to put the camera down here. So I believe I'll just push this in there and push this through. Is that right? In fact, I might just put a little bit of an angle on that because it seems to be a bit difficult to feed through. back, got some snips. So I'm going to cut this at quite a steep angle. Hopefully that pointiness will help me feed this fruit. I'm clearly doing something wrong unless the extruder is blocked from the last print. I don't think it should be. I have a feeling there's definitely some sort of blockage. I don't particularly want to have to deal with that. Right, looks like we're turning this off and taking that feed thing off because something ain't right. Right, so I've got the kit of bits and bobs that the guy I bought it off gave me, so let's see what we've got here. Wrong size. You did explain that if you do have any problems, that like the downside of direct drive is you have to take a lot of stuff off to be able to clear the block. So looks like we're being thrown into the deep end straight away. It could possibly be just me user error, but we'll take it apart. I can find out what's causing this issue, and in the future I'll know what not to do. So I believe the issue is I'm just not feeding the filament through here properly. Yeah, there's definitely something snagging. There we go. We're through. We just put that back on there. Just clear out the print bed in a second. Yeah, we'll just put that back on there now. Screw it back on. Beginning to realise why some people dislike direct drive. So yeah, all back on. Just get all this nastiness off the print bed. It's cooled down enough now to touch. And there we have it. So turn this back on. Once that nozzle's up to temperature, I'm just going to purge because there'll be some green filament in here from the test prints the seller did for me. He also left me this little note here to change the retracting distance and retraction speed to 1.5 and 35 respectively. So I will nozzle up to temp, so we'll just do that first. Get rid of this. So yeah, you see a little green fuzzball of the old filament. So go to settings, Is it under motor control? I don't seem to be able to select that. Right, we'll just set this to print anyhow and see how we go. So even after changing it to the root of the SD card, it's still not showing up. So I do have this SD card that he gave me with it, so I'll just put it on there and see if that works, because all his prints that are saved on here are still on here. So we'll go. Just move the thing, but it's still not showing. So maybe I'm just saving it the wrong file type, I don't know. So back to the computer. So as you can see at the top there, this one is the file we've just made, which is C3V2, and the rest of these are C3 Max. So I'm wondering if I've selected the wrong Ender 3, and that is why it's not picking it up. So we're back at the printer now, and it's still not showing up, which is very much confusing. There must be something I'm doing wrong. So we got it working. The actual issue was apparently with this model of printer, if the file name is too long, it won't show up on the display for you to select. So if anyone else managed to get one of these printers, or it might be a problem on the Ender 3 too, just be aware that you have to shorten the file name. As you can see there, it says heating, so I'm assuming once the heating stage finishes, it will start printing. So I'll come back in 5 minutes and see how we get on. So as you can see, we got started, but to me it looks like we didn't get very good bed adhesion. So I'll have to try and fix it. So I re-leveled the bed and it seems to be printing. I just had to pause it because I'm pretty sure I had that in the wrong way, and as you can see there's some kinks there. So hopefully it's not going to affect things too much, but we'll just have to see what happens. I also dropped the speed down to 180, which shouldn't affect the overall print time massively, but might add an extra hour. So we're going to leave this to print, and hopefully they're the last of them kinks, and the little motor there can just sort of power through them. So it's got through that kink, no problem. So fingers crossed we're up and away. So it's the next day now, as you can see. I'm printing something else. That first print, it came out okay. There's some rough parts, so I altered the settings, and this one seems to be going a lot smoother. Details are more refined. I did notice the bearing in this corner that holds this pipe is very worn, and it's causing a little wobble. So that is something I'll have to change in the future. But for now, the printer still works fine and does what it says on the tin. So yeah, this is the print from yesterday. See this yellow sort of grip from a Nintendo. Now it fits perfect in a Nintendo, but I don't know if you can make that out on camera. It's just very bumpy where it definitely shouldn't be. I feel like that's to do with the speed. No, the person I bought the printer off said set it to 200. But I feel like, considering the default for the printer is 100, I feel like that's just a bit too fast for more detailed prints, but it's okay on this one. I don't know if you can see this edge here, it's got a bit of a divot when it's supposed to be sort of perfectly flat. Now this just could be the filament being quite old and obviously degraded over time, or it could just be something to do with the settings I've done. I'll have to do some tweaking and find out. Now, to conclude, we spent £100 on a used printer and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. Obviously I need to figure it out a bit more. I'm very used to resin printing, you know. FDM's a lot different, so I need to work out the differences and what settings to change. But other than that, I'm made up with it, and I highly recommend you give it a go yourself if you're looking into getting into 3D printing. So yeah, we'll call a video there. It's been quite a long one.